Hello, I'm Gina T. Welcome to Compelled to Impact, a collection of information, knowledge, and wisdom, and ways you can renew your mind and transform your life. Today is episode 65, What You Might Not Know About Relationships. Relationships are everywhere and in everything you do 24/7. You definitely have different connections to things rather than people, and different or even a variety of rapport with some people compared to others. It's all about the energy you and the other person or thing contribute to your life, as well as what it means to you. This is based on the fact that scientists began to recognize that everything in the universe is made out of energy. Quantum physicists discovered that physical atoms are made up of vortices of energy that are constantly spinning and vibrating, each one radiating in its own unique signature. Erwin Schrödinger famously stated, "What we observe as material bodies and forces are nothing but shapes and variations in the structure of space. Particles are just appearances. Simply put, everything is nothing but energy." That's kind of mind-blowing. Well, it is, not just kind of. It really is. Sorry, I just need to check something. Oops. Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm back. Without getting into the science of this, our human experience is based on the formation of atoms and the relationships between them, including our human body. How freaking fascinating is that? And epigenetics is the study of how your behaviors and environment can cause changes that affect the way your genes work. Unlike genetic changes, epigenetic changes are reversible and do not change your DNA sequence, but they can change how your body reads a DNA sequence. So it makes things behave differently within our body. These points are actually two of the important concepts that led me into deeper seeking and learning more about our spirit existence. Doesn't sound like they go together, but they actually do. It's definitely mind-blowing to think that our next passage is living without atoms and every single thing that they fabricate. Okay, I'll stop nerding out and get to the point. Since relationship is a general term, and what we relate to is actually the energy of everything and every person, it makes sense that how we relate to one thing affects how we relate to almost everything else. For example, there's a lot of talk about your relationship with money coming from your early years when parents and other adults around you said things and probably did things that influenced your ideas about money. What you had in your home and life looked like an indication of what you actually could have. Could be a lot, could be very little. How parents and other adults treated you influenced your value and your ability to not only dream of how you wanted your life to look, but also have those things that would make your dream a reality. Or they would show you what you wouldn't have and what you wouldn't be or couldn't. Does this make sense? And does it resonate with something deep inside you? Furthermore, your ability to dream and have goals is also activated from the energy of all your experiences, as well as your personality, characteristics, and perception. It also seems clear that we're not only relating to everyone and everything around us, but we exchange energy at different levels. With this in mind, consider how the energy of your thoughts, words, and actions either add value to yourself and others or subtract value. Is this too simple? I mean, it kind of is. Or does it seem complicated? You can tell me in the comments what you think and if this was easy to understand. Anyway, this is why parents would say, don't hang out with those hooligans. Well, maybe they don't use that word anymore, but they wanted you to be in a better group of people, because instinctively, most of us know that you eventually develop habits of the people you hang out with the most. You are definitely influenced by the people who you spend time with in person and online. However, you have the power to make sure you only assimilate the best from your circle of influence. The more you do that, the less you'll have in common with those who aren't motivated to rise above. Given these points of ethos or criteria, it makes perfect sense to examine and invest in your most important relationship, which is the relationship you have within yourself. Now, I'm not going to go into the relationship with God, because that is completely connected to the relationship within yourself. Right now, I'm going to talk about what you do within yourself, because if you are in the same belief system, you can't have one without the other. Most of the time, when someone says you need to love yourself, what that really means is to take time as often as possible to really know yourself and embrace each part of who you are, and then change it if you need to. This also implies that you have come this far because of who you are, despite anything negative or defeating that you've encountered along the way. And the thing about that is we are constantly changing. But it is important to celebrate your victories, no matter how long ago, how small, or seemingly insignificant. Then it makes sense to say that you already know how to turn something negative into a strength of possibility. You just didn't know that you knew. How would so many billions of humans survive for so long if there wasn't even a spark of hope, of resilience, and resourcefulness in each person? Or at least enough people around you who can inspire that or make the changes. The Apostle Peter said, "You already have everything you need, including access to everything you need to live your best life." I'm paraphrasing, but this relationship with yourself is critical to amplify all your other relationships, to all the people and all the things, including your progress in this life. When you intentionally learn and implement all that is possible to increase alignment of your elements of spirit, heart, mind, and body, you raise your level of living higher and higher. You begin to realize that even the smallest baby step forward is another flame that connects to other flames within you, that shines deeper and wider than before. You begin to notice things that you never saw, or maybe you saw, but it didn't mean anything to you. It's the same thing with that yellow car that you're going to buy. You didn't notice all the yellow cars on the road until you wanted to buy one. And then it seems like everybody's got a yellow car. That's probably not the best example, but you get what I'm saying, right? Your expansion within yourself becomes a beacon to attract everything that exists on the same level. That is not an accident. That is what is meant to happen, and what connects quantum science of how things work to the creative forces in the universe and God, the origin of creation. Even Jesus said of the miracles he performed, "You will do these things that I have done, and even greater things." Do we just gloss over that? Because I think he was the greatest example of what is possible in our lives. Or one of the, sorry, I don't mean to offend anybody, but one of the greatest examples. These words are further proof that we already have access to God's source through our own spirit being. When we see the blueprint the way it was intended, it demonstrates how the working harmony of life elements connects us within, as well as to the supernatural power of holy alignment. That's the life of our spirit. It should be anointed. It should be holy. The thing about the perfect example of the heights we can reach in our human lives is that humans got in the way and have misconstrued the language that was used from the ancient texts. I mean, have you played the game telephone? A person starts a phrase that's whispered down the line of people, and when the last person says it out loud, it's usually not very close to the original phrase. Contrary to that funny parlor game, use the following rules to win the game of life. First, learn about yourself every way that you can and who you are from the inside out. You're not what's on the outside of you. And I remember when I was just kind of rebellious about that, people would get perfected on the outside, and I would like almost purposely do the opposite, because we're not the outside of us, we're the inside. Number 2, understand your elements of spirit, heart, mind, and body. Number 3, learn the correlation of each of those to your wholeness and health, as well as what makes you rich from the inside out, and the importance of building this relationship as a strong foundation for every other relationship you open yourself up to receive. When I say rich, I mean the richness of your heart and mind and how you live. That doesn't mean you have numbers in the bank that shows how rich you are, because a lot of us don't. It's just the way it is. You can have an abundance of your heart and mind without having a ton of money in the bank or credit union, because not the bank. Anyway, number 4, invest in yourself to raise your love quotient. That also doesn't always mean money. It means invest your time, energy, and resources into yourself. And then invest in others you love and care about to add value to their love quotient. This is what life is really about. This is the essence of your existence as a human being and being the best you can be. Everything else is a detail added to enhance your life and those around you. Then you can create ripples of goodness everywhere you go. Imagine if everyone managed their lives in this way. What a magnificent world we would create together. It makes sense to take time at least once a week, if not daily, to learn what this all means for you and your future. The past is gone, and what you do right now creates the future you and what you want. It's also an indication of the level you live on and the actual work you need to do to be in alignment with those things you want and the people that you want around you. When you take personal responsibility to do the inner work with gratitude and joy, eventually your life will begin to expand in ways you would have only imagined. Okay, well, that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening to my channel, for subscribing, sharing, and interacting. I am definitely compelled to impact. I tried not to do this. Sometimes I take time off, a little bit of time off, and I kind of go, no, this is not working. I have to do this. So I'm sure you know, when you start to learn about yourself, you will find the things that you are compelled to do to raise your vibration and the goodness around you. So keep seeking and learning. Stay open to possibilities of grace, compassion, and love. And as always, live excellently, give generously, and love lavishly. Until next time, ciao. Have a good one. Mwah.